So you decided to join the Army, but you're feeling like you might be a little bit too old to join. You're not past the age limit at 35, but you're like, man, I shouldn't join because I'm just too dang old. Well, this video is for you. What's going on, guys? So I'm probably going to make this video a shorter video, but I really want to just narrow in on this one specific topic because I get this question a fair amount of times on my social media platforms. Shout out to right here, you can follow me, WardM89, and ask me whatever the heck you want. But a lot of times people are feeling like they're too old to join. And if you didn't know, the age limit for joining into the military is 35. So if you're older than 35, you're too old to join. The only way that you can join past that age is if you're already prior service. So let's say I was 36, and normally you're too old to join. If I had 4 years of prior service whenever I was in my 20s or whatever, then that amount of service, those 4 years, is subtracted from your age, and effectively you'll be joining with an age of 32, right? So other than that, once you hit 35, you're too old to join. And usually I see this kind of happen once people actually reach about my age right now, in the mid-20s. So I'm 24 currently, and I've seen this question coming from people who are 24, 25, 26, mid-20s, all the way up to 35, or even older than that, for people who are wanting to join back into the military. And the common question that I get is like, should I do it? Am I going to be treated differently? Like, what should I do to help prepare myself for this situation? Like, how are people going to treat me? Am I going to be like, disregarded as, oh, you're just this old person or whatever, and treated like that? Or are you going to be actually accepted as just one of the people? And that kind of is completely on you, because in the military, at least in my opinion, from what I saw at basic training, because there were older people in my platoon. There was a couple people in their 30s. I think the oldest guy in my platoon itself, I believe, was 33. There was also like a 31-year-old and a 30-year-old, and several people who are in their upper 20s. But it doesn't really matter as much as you think it does, because really all that matters in the military, in my opinion, is, are you fit? Like, can you keep up with the people who are in their 20s, and can you do your job? That's really all that matters to me. That's kind of all that really matters in the military in general, is can you do your job, and are you really fit enough to do your job? Because age doesn't really matter in that, because you could be a 30-year-old and smoke a 20-year-old at running if that's really what you're, kind of gauging yourself on. It's like, oh crap, I can't really run, I'm going to do horrible at basic training, which is not necessarily true. You could have a whole lot of wisdom, and a lot of the younger soldiers may actually look up to you like that, right? They're not really going to treat you any different. The drill sergeants are definitely not going to treat you any different. The only time that drill sergeants tend to treat people different is if they're prior service. They might just talk to the person just about their prior service branch. Like if they did 6 years in the Navy or 6 years in the Marines or something, and they switch over to the Army after a couple years, they might just like talk to them about that. And that's really the only way that they're going to be treated differently, aside from maybe at the beginning you get chosen for the leadership position off the bat. But for the most part, you're honestly not going to get treated any differently unless you can't do one of those things. Those two things. You can't, you're not good at PT, and you can't do your job. That's really it. If you are in your 30s, if you're in your upper 20s, and you're sitting here complaining and you're using that excuse of like, oh, I'm just too old. Oh, I remember whenever I was young, I could do that. Like don't say that crap, because to be honest, nobody really cares. Like, they just simply don't. Like, can you pass your PT test? Yes? Okay, you're good to go. Are you failing your PT test and then blaming it on your age? No, don't freaking do that, because that's completely your fault. There's literally way older people than you that are trying to join, or that are actually in, and they're passing their PT test and they're doing fine and they're running really fast. My old sergeant major, command sergeant major by my battalion, he was a really cool dude, and he was like 50, lower 50s or something like that. He had been in the Army for a really long time, and I remember I did a PT test with him, and I think he did his PT test in like 14 something, and he actually, there was another private who was running, or actually was a specialist, the specialist that was running, and the specialist was throwing up, so he stopped for a few seconds to actually kind of help that person out, and then he continued on running, and he completed his PT test for the run in 14 minutes and some change. at like 52, 53 years old, right? So whenever I look at that, I'm just like, age is not a factor, right? I personally, I hope that I can do that. I hope that I can run like that whenever I'm older. So knowing that, can you do your job? Can you pass the PT test? That's really all that matters, and that's what I want to get across to you. When you're going to basic training, you don't really have to tell everybody your age all the time, because like I said, nobody really cares that much. You know, if you get to basic training and the first day you're there, you're like, yeah, you know, I'm 32 and, you know, I just should have done this whenever I was younger, and you're talking like that, like you are the older person, or maybe you're talking like you're better than them because you're older. Don't do that, because that thing is going to kind of come off the wrong way. Just like if you want to, don't even mention your age to the other soldiers unless it really comes up, because once you're getting in your conversations and stuff like that, you're eventually going to ask each other what's your name, you know, where are you from, how old are you, what school did you go to, what was your job before the Army. You're going to talk about basic stuff like that. But when you join, when you get to reception, everybody's head is going to be shaved, everybody's going to be clean shaven, everybody's going to be wearing the same uniform, which really, honestly, makes people look around about the same age in general, because most of the people are going to be from like 20 years old to, you know, 30 something years old. And whenever everybody pretty much looks the same and everybody's clean shaved and everybody's got their shaved heads, it, like I said, it pretty much makes you all look the same age. And there's people that told me like, hey, you know, I'm 29 years old or whatever, and you're just like, holy crap, I thought you were like my age. I was like 22 whenever I joined the Army, and it's just like, wow, like I did not even know that. So like, if you are older, you don't even have to mention it. It's not going to be a big deal. People aren't really going to care that much unless you make it a big deal, unless you like make the excuses all the time about your age. Just like if you're really wanting to, you know, work hard and do stuff that's, you know, really good, and if you're really worried about your age, just make sure you're doing your best to be physically fit, right? So if you get to basic training, don't use your age as an excuse. That is like my biggest advice to the people that are joining that are older, because that is just like a sign that you're weak. You're making up excuses for why you're not performing as well as you wish you could, or that other people are doing. Don't make up excuses, just do your best. So for the people that ask me, hey, I'm this age, am I too old to join? Should I join? The answer is yes. If you want to join, go for it. Age is really not that big of a deal. Like, of course, it is somewhat of a big of a deal, but it's not going to be a big deal in how you're treated at basic training. So, you know, if you want to join, don't let your age get in the way, okay? If you want to join active duty, reserves, National Guard, if you want to join another branch, don't let your age get in the way, because, you know, like I said in a previous video that I did with the #1 reason to join, you don't want that regret. If you're 33, if you're 34, and you're wanting to join the military and you're able to join the military, don't let that worry that, oh, I'm too old, and just let that just keep on passing time, and you're getting older and older and older, and before you know it, you're too old to join and you regret not doing it. So that's my little advice to you guys. That's my thing that I want to say to you guys real quickly. All of you that are older, that you are thinking about joining the military, that maybe you're thinking you're too old to join, that's my advice. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. That would be awesome. If you want to stick around for some more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. That would be even better. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, comment section is down below. You can follow me on Instagram and Snapchat right here. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.